guys, welcome along to our Xtreem GT4 league, where tonight we're doing round 8, the final round for this season, and coming to you from Fuji in Japan. Tonight I'm joined by two of fellow racers from the GT4 league in Wayne Losh and Damien Seeger. How are you, boys?
Yeah, really good, Greg. Yeah, pretty keen to sit in and watch this race. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well,
And being back for a week too, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully I'm a little bit smoother and better and make a few less mistakes this week.
all right. Before we get underway, let's have a look and see what we're up against tonight. So, as we said, it's Fuji. Weather at 26 degrees, partly cloudy. Track length is 4.46 kilometres, and I have no idea where that city in Japan is, so we'll just go with that. All right.
It's near a mountain at Fuji, I reckon.
Good chance.
All right, the boys are just about to get underway for race 1, so we'll have a quick look at the grid. There's Mr. Seeger talking to the crew. All right.
All right, on the grid tonight, qualifying on pole, we have Glenn Wood, and in second position we have Dylan Canto.
Followed by Owen Coleman and Kyle Ridley.
On the next row, we have Darren Linus. That's a really good qualifying for Darren up there, and Glenn Board alongside him.
Ray Oliver and Luke Claver.
Followed by Wayne Losh and Andrew Pears.
After that, we have Greg Holmes and the one and only Damien Seeger.
Over the page, it's Moz Moroz and Matt Tesserero.
Then followed by Ben Ferguson and Dave Gogol.
And Anthony Connors,
Anthony
Keith
Connors,
Logan,
Keith Logan,
Matt Hardigan.
Matt Hadigan.
I reckon we'll get that right sometime soon, guys. We'll work out who's going to win.
Then you got Trent Harrison, Tyson Gordon, Graham Ellis, and bringing up the rear is Andrew Roberts. Sorry about that, boys. I was just hoping that we didn't run out of time.
I got a little bit hard to read there for a second, and that's where Damo and I struggled, but that's all right. Very, very long straight at the Fuji, so it takes forever to get to the start-finish line, but very, very close now, and we're to get racing.
It's a really tricky part of the race, isn't it, this starting sequence? Some people can get a really good jump if they're a little bit too far back, but if we keep it nice and tight, generally we get a pretty good start.
Yes, and everyone's fanned out, and we're approaching turn 1, 3, 4, 5 wide.
Looks like John Canto's got a pretty good start there.
Looks like there was a bit of a mishap at the back of the pack there.
Are we going to have another look at that replay, Greg?
No.
Anyway, back to the front we go. We've got Glenn Woods leading the race at the moment, followed by Kyle Ridley and Dylan Canto, I should say.
Oh.
Just getting a little loose. That's right. We all know that Canto can handle the wheel.
Yes. It's a very wide track, Fuji, so you'll notice tonight that there's a lot of people going through corners side by side and people running tight lines, wide lines. Makes it very, very fun to race.
It's pretty interesting because...
got a spinner there. We can go back and have a look at that one.
Like Kyle Ridley.
Really?
Yeah, he won't be happy with that.
Cold tyres.
Yeah. I think so. All on his own. Turns in. The back just steps out from underneath him.
Yeah, I must say, I've driven that BMW before, Lushy, and once she goes, she goes. It's very hard to get back.
Yes. And it's right back down in about 17th position now, so that's been a pretty costly one for Kyle.
We have another crasher. Hang on, let's go and have a look and see what's happened further back. Oh dear.
Oh, Mr. Ellis.
Mr. Ellis has hit the wall and followed closely by Andrew Roberts. Synchronised spinning.
That or a sympathy spin, one of the two.
He's gone out in sympathy, I think.
All right, we'll jump back up the front. It looks like Glenn Wood's got a bit of a break.
Yeah, it's usually we see Owen Coleman right up the front here, but it's good to have Glenn on board. Give Owen something to aim for, I think.
Yeah, the Simworks boys were saying that they hadn't done much practice or many laps at this track, so Glenn's certainly doing well in the early stages.
Imagine if he had practice then, probably 8 seconds.
Nice gap, 1.2 seconds he's achieved in the first lap, and it looks like he's just gaining on that a little bit, trying to get the cars behind him out of his tow.
Yeah, with the long straight though, you can generally work together with the car behind you. So you've got Coleman and Canto. If they do it smart, they should be able to catch him, I'd say.
As the two Mercs working together, second and third currently on road. Bit of a battle further back, looks like, with three-way battle there with Oliver, Boyd and Linus. Darren currently up in fourth.
Yeah, he's really come a long way, this Linus bloke. He's really showing up, isn't he? Looks like Glenn Boyd's doing his typical find his way through the pack, make his way to the front.
Yeah, last 2 weeks I think Glenn hasn't qualified as well as he could have, and he just generally works his way and gets very involved in the race lead sometime throughout the race.
Yeah, McLaren's hard to catch down the straight though. And driving the Porsche myself, I think I found a little bit underpowered going down the straight. I think it lacked a little bit of top speed. It certainly wasn't the driver.
It's like
at the end of lap 2 there, and looks like Glenn Wood has opened that gap a little bit further, so he is pulling out about half a second a lap.
Might be a good opportunity to jump on board and run a few corners with Glenn. See if we can get some driving tips.
Yeah, when are we back at Fuji again? This could come in handy.
Well, you two boys would no doubt be interested in seeing how
Yeah, look, I sat in front of him for a little while, but it ended up me sitting behind him after that. So yeah, it is interesting. He did have some interesting lines. Even this corner here, I found he did a little bit different, but always seemed to gain a fair bit of speed out of it.
Well, that's just another example there of all the wide corners and the different lines you can run.
Yeah.
Trying to hold it in tight or run right out wide and really open up the arc of the corner to gain the run on the straight. So there's a lot of variations, and each one seems to have a different outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he's opened the gap now to just over 2 seconds, so obviously he's doing something right.
Looks like Dylan's about to make a move on Coleman. Cut to that.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. Dylan's got the run down the straight. Late on the brakes.
It's quite nice. He's got that done quite easily.
So at the beginning of lap 4, if we go through our top 10, we've got Glenn Wood in first, Dylan Canto coming second, Owen Coleman in third place. Glenn Boyd's already got himself up to fourth. We've got Darren Linus still in fifth, Ray Oliver in sixth, Wayne Losh in seventh, Luke Claver in eighth, Moz Moroz in ninth, and Pearsy rounds out our top 10.
It's a pretty good mix of car branding this time as well. I think there's a reasonably good spread.
I do detect that a few boys have jumped cars. Oh, further back it looks like we've got a bit of a mishap. Might go back and I think this is Matt Tesserero. Oh, he's run all. That's going to hurt.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is there, if you do run wide, that green part of the track's really slippery, so that will catch you out if you put the power down too early. Looks like that's exactly what Matty's done, unfortunately.
Yeah, back to the pits.
There he is, Mr. Wood.
The gap is still growing at the moment, out to 2.1 now. Just having a look on the timing tower, see if there's any. I'll go back and have a quick look at Matt Hardigan in 13th. Currently being followed by Dave Gogol. Found Dave very difficult to pass last night. The BMW is very quick in a straight line.
It is. And I was wondering every time I got near him, is that a Google car in support of Gogol? It's got the Google colours. Another guy I don't see too much is Matt Hardigan.
Yeah.
So every time he comes out, he seems to put on a show for us, so good on him.
It was quite a good field last night. There was 23 cars at the start, so
it's a good turnout, absolutely. There we go, that's just another example of running wide and get on the power. There's just no grip out there.
Meanwhile, Loshy's found a turn of speed, starting to make his way up through the field.
It's not like Loshy, is it?
Under a bit of pressure there from Luke Claver, one of the Simworks boys. So Loshy, what was the Aston like compared to the BMW that you've raced the last couple of weeks?
I didn't do a great deal of laps in the Aston. I did quite a few laps in the BMW around this track, and I just really didn't like the way it turned in. It was pretty horrible the way it felt with me. So I did a couple of laps in the Aston and just felt it turned in a little bit better. And when I logged in last night, I saw there was no one in the Aston. I thought, oh well, that's sealed the deal. I better jump in and run that car just to be different. But I did like it actually. It turned in quite well. My qualifying lap was the best lap I'd achieved between that and a few other cars doing a little bit of testing there. So it was pretty good actually.
Yeah, awesome. I don't want to talk too much about the Porsche because I don't want to give away any possible new hints with that thing. But all in all, I found it pretty good. And I actually felt that car was getting better towards the end of the race, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah, the Porsche is it's sort of been Glenn Boyd's favourite for most of the season. I think he drove the Aston one night, but jumped straight back in the Porsche. So obviously there's a secret to it somewhere.
Well, we won't let it out the bag just yet. I'll get back to you next round.
It's funny actually. I think Owen has driven the Mercedes every week, but I've had a go at all of them except the McLaren. I think I've driven the Porsche, I've driven the Aston, I've driven the Mercedes, and I've driven the BMW. So I haven't been loyal to any of them. But I think iRacing's done a really good job. When they first brought the BMW out, I think it was a rocket ship in a straight line and pretty horrible, but I think the balance of power of all of these cars now is really close. There's I think the guys that are driving away, it's the drivers more than the cars being better, you know. I think the cars have been really, really good now that they've got the 5 of them.
I totally agree. And the thing I'd say there about the McLaren though is it definitely has the top end speed, but it definitely loses speed through the corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not too good into the corners, but it's exit out of the corners. But that's what's really good, because I also believe that the cars have strengths in certain tracks. Like I think the BMW last week was fantastic, but when I drove it at this particular track, there was just a couple of corners where it was really struggled. So, which is probably true to life as well. That certain cars suit certain tracks.
We've just watched a drag side by side all the way down the length of the straight between the McLaren and Loshy and the Aston. And to be honest, there wasn't really a lot of difference. It looks like Mr. Seeger has managed to
no, that's
get
Mr.
the pass.
Miles, actually.
Oh, that's
no, that's how dare you confuse me for that man.
I actually thought Moz was in the McLaren last night, so apologies for that.
Yeah, no, Moz took the Porsche on as well, which is a surprise to me because I thought he was going to be McLaren Grand Prix, but looks like Seager might get him back here if he's lucky. It's 101 undercut. He's a hard man to race, Moz. He's you know how to block a line, that's for sure.
So this is a good little battle with Darren Linus. It's Moz, obviously, and Luke Claver, who we're riding on board, the nose cone of Luke's car at the moment.
Yeah, I had a really good battle with Darren as well. I sat behind him for a couple of laps, and there was one particular lap where I think when I first had an attempt at the move on him, where I did actually get onto the straight just before him, and he just rounded me up and went past me like I was stopped. So I really had to try a different approach and make sure that I got the move done well for the straight, and like at least had about half a second or so in front. And then Darren, I think, was pretty generous actually, because the second lap he probably could have had another go at me, but he decided to sort of sit in behind and then stay with me for a few laps. So yeah, very, very quick down the straight.
Absolutely. Actually, I remember this battle now with Luke. It was really good. Actually, I think myself, Luke, and Moroz battled all the way to the end. It was a pretty good finish.
So at this point of the race, Glenn Wood's opened the gap out now to nearly 3.5 seconds. So he's pretty much running his own race. Back in second, young Dylan and Owen are still fairly close. Glenn Boyd's currently fourth, Ray Oliver in fifth, and then we've got the Losh, Linus, Claver, Moroz pairs, the top 10. But I'm surprised that Glenn's so far in front, to be honest.
Yeah, he obviously just hasn't put a foot wrong. And it's hard too, because I lost a bit of time in my battle with Darren, because he was just doing such a good job, and we allowed the two guys to get out. And once that gap is there and you're sort of racing solo, it's really hard to match the pace of a pack of cars. So
yeah, I sort of imagined at this track with the long straight that, you know, the draft would keep the pack fairly tightly.
The problem is though, is Wood's got too much gap, so there's no draft there, and that Mercedes has got enough power just to stay in front all of the time. So
yeah.
Big Glenn's here. He's hunting Glenn. I'd like to say sniffing. I don't know if that's the right word though, but it's definitely what he's doing. Yeah. He's like a dog sniffing around a bowl, isn't he?
Owen's somewhat of a surprise. I would have expected to see him a bit further up, although I'm not sure.
He wasn't on the track as much as he usually was, so he probably had some other commitments. But
yeah,
he is generally up there. But well, we'll wait and see.
well, he's in a podium position and still battling with Dylan. It's just the surprise pack of Glenn Wood's got pace that I don't think any of us can match in this first race. So
yeah, totally agree with that.
might jump back. It would appear that Claver and Luke and Moz are still hard at it.
Yeah, this is a great battle.
Meanwhile,
That's the other thing. Sorry, Greg. That's the other thing too. Is you can tell that Luke's got a little bit of racecraft. And sitting behind him is pretty handy at blocking the line as well, and doing it correctly.
I've noticed that's your good self that's now moved up onto the back of Moz. That usually spells trouble when you two guys are within.
Yeah, that was a great line by me, I must say as well. So I'm just wondering if I get the run here. Did you see that, Wayne?
that's why I was so quiet. I was speechless.
Yeah, see the Mercedes is just even when you come out of the slipstream, it's like the Porsche hits a brick wall. Which we'll see if Moz gets this done. Looks like he does.
Oh,
Seager thought about it.
car parked on the
Yep.
inside there certainly didn't help.
That was an awkward moment. I'm not too sure it was a good idea to park your car in the apex.
No, it's right at the end of the pits, and I suppose
It is
people
an
come
awkward
out of the
exit.
pits and look
Yeah.
and go, wow, I think I need to stop.
Yeah, probably a little bit of panicking, I think, happened then.
Yeah, we've all been there. Or maybe just speaking for myself.
No, we've all been there.
So the gap is now drifting out towards 4 seconds. We're over half race distance, so Glenn Wood's
So that's
doing
8th,
a good
9th,
job.
10th and 11th there. There's also a really good looking four-way battle going with 12th, 13th, 14th as well by the times. There's 0, you know, they're all very close as well, the times.
We'll duck back and work our way back through
Dave
the field.
Ogle, Ridley, Pears and Logan look like they're having a pretty good battle as well.
So there's the Go-Go Mobile. Oh,
Google machine. Yeah,
He took a tight line then.
that's Ridley. Yeah, it's he's gone for the wide line there. I hope they're probably getting down the straight. I would say we'll see if this works. It might just.
this is where
That's,
Pears will struggle with the Merc, because the BMW just drives away down the straight.
Yeah,
And especially two of them working together.
Yeah.
and it's what you said earlier, Loshy. It's the beauty about this track is there's so many different ways to take the corners, and one of them is that last corner. If you take a really wide line and really tighten up that exit, you can do exactly what Ridley's done here. That was just 101.
I think Dave's given him plenty of space there to make the pass.
Yeah, well done by Dave.
Now he's coming under attack by Pearsy.
Oh,
It's gone a bit
Well.
wide there.
Yep.
Gifted Pearsy that one.
I was just about to say this could be a good battle, but looks like I was wrong. Let's just throw it over to Keithy boy, shall we? See what Keith can bring us.
I think Dave may have suffered a slowdown going that wide into that corner too.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, he's cutting the grass again, but he's got the move done. Oh, airborne BMW.
Come fly with me. That's another interesting thing. I can tell you right now that Porsche cannot take that corner like that. It's just the slowest part of the track for the Porsche is right there.
Through the fast
Through
right-hander.
the fast, yeah, you can't touch it. The second you touch that curve, she's just off.
Looks like Keith's got a bit of a run, but I don't know whether the big Merc is going to have the legs to.
I don't think it will, but tell you what, past 2 laps, I reckon I've seen 4 different lines, 4 different ways to take that last corner, and all of them seem to work.
So, Loshi, what was this track actually used for back in the day? Was it a Formula One track or?
Oh, if you're going to throw questions at that, Greg, you better let me do some research beforehand, mate. I wouldn't have a clue.
Oh no, we've got a few more for you, Lushy. Yeah. When was this track established, Lushy?
Apologies for that.
He told me he was going to do it earlier,
As long
mate.
as we can make people laugh, that's part of the job of a broadcast, isn't it?
Well, you're such a good stats man. I thought you may have had that information already stored.
It's Glenn now. What's his gap? Can't quite see that. Is that
5.5 seconds at the moment. So yeah, he's well and truly.
In a world of his own at the moment.
Yeah, Owen's actually moved up to second now. If we go back and Dylan's obviously still quite close. Loshy's moved up to fourth, but as you can see, there's probably a couple of seconds gap back to Loshy, so it'd be
See
difficult.
what Owen could do now. Yeah, now that Owen's out the front, let's see if he can close that gap.
So built in the 1960s, Fuji Speedway was used for FIA World Sports Car Championship and national racing. Originally managed by Mitsubishi Estate Co., Fuji Speedway was acquired by Toyota Motor Corporation in 2000.
Well, there you go.
So, LMCT 456. Batteries not included.
So they've haven't really been more than about 3/10 apart the entire race.
No.
Dylan and Owen.
Apart from
Owen's
switching
in
position.
the battle for the championship lead too. He's I think about 13 points behind at this point in time. So he really probably wants to stay right up there and score as many points as he can tonight.
It's another good point. Seems that's what we're really here for, isn't it?
The field has certainly spread out. Might quickly duck back and just have a look and see what Mr. Connors is. Oh, just as we say that.
Is that right? It was really good timing. Let's rewind that a little bit, shall we?
Let's go and have a look and see if we can. Oh, ouch!
You think he knows it
Looked
goes
like he
the other
swerved
way.
at the end there to go through the gap.
I
That
just
is
can't work out how he's done that. Yeah.
that is what you would definitely call unlucky.
Unlucky ducky.
Oh,
So Greg, can we go back to the front because something looks like it's happened to Mr. Glenn Wood?
yes. So let's just see if we can pick that up. Oh, so
Oh no.
Glenn has run off. It looks like he's spun coming out of that fast.
Can you go back a little bit further than that?
We can probably go back and have a look.
Thanks, Mr. Director.
That's,
Yeah, so he's come through the high speed and probably just run it a little bit wide into the dip.
Nice.
let's have a look at this in slow-mo.
Oh, that's a doozy, that grass.
Oh, yes. So he's put the wheel on the grass. And that's all she wrote. Good night,
Yes.
Irene.
Operator says no.
And the rest is history.
Well,
Maybe.
he's done well to keep it off the wall and get no damage there. Straight around, straight back onto the racetrack. So he'll be a bit dirty with himself there, but wonder where he can get himself back to, what position.
Absolutely. I reckon he'd be pretty upset about that. He had a good 5-second lead for his comebacks. What's his second race with us now?
Yeah. So that's so Owen's now inherited the lead, Loshy, which would put him in a really good championship position. Although that's obviously moved you up to third as well, because you're obviously in the battle for the championship with Owen at this stage.
Yes, there's 13 points between us at this stage, so we run a drop round in this league actually, so or 2 drop rounds actually, so I've sort of got a guaranteed amount of points for tonight that if I don't pass that, so my second drop round's about 132 points and I was 13 points in front of Owen, so Owen needs to score more than 145 points tonight, which will put him in front of me if I have a bad result. So it's pretty tight, anything can happen.
Well, so at the moment he's obviously running first, you're back in third, so he would gain a few points on you if the positions were to stay the same. And we've got around 7 minutes of racing to go, so
Mr. Canto's looking pretty sharp though. Looks like he's going to ruin his party.
I'm right now saying, go Dylan, go Dylan.
he's looking good. He's looking real tidy.
there's probably what, 2 or 3 laps, probably 3 laps left at this stage. Maybe 4.
I think it might be 4. I think it was 8. It will be about 18 laps time dependent, 17 or 18. So
let's have a look at how they do this last corner. I want to see the 2 different lines they take if they do. Let's say Dylan's looking for the tighter line there, but I don't know if he pulled it off.
and they're doing a really good consistent pace here. Like lap after lap, I was about probably 2.9 out to 3.5, 3.9 seconds, and just couldn't close that gap down.
I don't like the sound of the AMG, is there?
Yes. they certainly do have a nice deep roar.
I need to do something pretty quickly here. Downshift should go into third here, just to pull it back onto the apex. Only holds for.
Really interesting, the different gear ratios that each of the cars
Yeah.
have. too.
Yeah. The Porsche will hold fourth gear through there any day of the week. If I grab third, she'll impression lock up to 60 or 60s.
Looks like might have had a bit more action further back. I'm just going to jump back and see if we can see what's happened back here. So, oh, contact.
Probably taking a little bit of a late dive there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Maybe missed his braking marker at first look, so it looks like he's missed his braking marker by a little bit.
Looks like the
Done the right thing, but they jumped straight on the back brakes to readdress, so that was good driving.
both of them still able to keep going, so that's good. It's
What have we got between Boydie and Pearsey? Let's have a look at that.
where is Glenn? So Glenn is all the way down in 11th.
So he's got Pearsey's pressure on him a little bit. That's a bit of the difference between the two cars. Found the AMG went a little better through this section though.
Glenn ran
It was
a bit
one of our
there.
really close qualifying sessions. I think, from memory, 9th or 10th place was about 9/10 of a second off pole, and there was like an almost consistent 1/10 of a second between each car. So you made a little boo-boo and you found yourself, well, I think I was back on 9th, and I was so happy with the lap and looked up and went, oh.
Yes, I must agree. I actually thought I put in a good qualifying lap for once, and then when I looked, I think I was 12th or something. It's, or even further down. Yeah, it's amazing how close qualifying was with so many different makes. Looks like
Glenn's. Yeah, Glenn's he's stretched that out, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think by this time the tyres on the Merc are probably screaming, "We've had enough."
And I reckon the tyres on the Porsche are saying, "Give me more." Yeah.
It looks like Ray's got back in front of Ben now. Meanwhile up the front, we've had a change for the lead.
Had a pass, and we've missed it. How do we go back and look at that pass?
You're really putting it on the director there, aren't you?
He's just trying to get his own back, Loshy. That's okay. I don't think it even. I don't think it noticed it, to be honest. I think it's.
Didn't even know they were racing.
They've been so well behaved up the front that
they have, yeah. And,
there's been no reason.
No reason to show it.
Looks like he's stalked for a while, but made the move and really putting his head down now, trying to break away. So it'll be interesting to see if he can manage that, or Owen gets it all back down this straight.
Oh, that's a big move.
There's a few tactics in play, no doubt.
Yeah.
So this would be the penultimate lap.
Oh, it is, you think?
Well, this is lap 17. We're at the counters at nearly 28 minutes.
Yeah, so I'd say this will be the second last lap, yeah.
Yeah. Just looking at the lap times as people cross the start-finish, the lap times have dropped off quite significantly.
Well, Pesasorio just pulled a 42.3.
Yeah, he may have pitted after his earlier crash.
I just made that surname up, by the way, so don't pin me on it.
I've got a sneaking suspicion that he may have been on new tyres. Although Ridley's another one.
Yeah, 42.
But again, he may have also.
Yeah, been so far back. Actually, I don't think Ridley would have, but possibly Matt may have.
Yes, no, Kyle did pit.
He did.
I can
There we go.
confirm that, yes.
Oh, well, Kyle, there we go. I did back you in for a little bit there, mate.
He's been sprung. There's nowhere to hide. So meanwhile, Dylan's around about 7/10 the lead over. So Owen should be getting a bit of a toe down the front straight.
Yeah, you really want to be about 1.4 in front to seal the deal. It's a really good chance that Owen might be on his backside by the end of this.
Yeah, he'll be able to close back in, but he won't be close enough to have a go, I don't think so. But it'll certainly bring him back into play for the final lap to try to challenge somewhere.
You better stay cool, calm, and collected and get everything right. Don't go deep.
So Darren Linus is still holding steady in 5th place, which is a great job. Behind him, our commentator, Mr. Damien Seeger. Luke's in 7th, Mosmeroz in 8th, Ray Oliver in 9th, and Boydie's rounded out the top 10.
Linus has changed his paint job. Why is that?
I think
Someone didn't like the flowers.
I think Loshy might have made a comment last week. I don't
Loshy
think,
used to race that paint
I don't
job.
think it was me. Was it me? Was it Loshy?
You know, you're forgetting
It's not
things,
as
I
good as
think.
it used to be.
I'm getting old, Damo. I forget a lot of things that I say.
Meanwhile, back in the race, Glenn Woods just passed Wayne Losh and taken a podium position off me.
Wow.
So he's done well to race back up into 3rd after his little mishap.
There we go.
There's the
flash over
flashing
the line.
lights. So looks like Dylan's got this one in the bag.
Well done, Dylan.
Followed home by Owen. And the battle for 3rd. And
Well, that's going to be tight.
Glenn holds on.
Right on, Glenn.
Followed by Linus, Mr. Seeger,
Always
Mr.
flashing.
Claver, Moroz, Ray Oliver, and Glenn Boyd rounds out the top 10.
I would have got to take that flashing light button off, Seeger, I reckon.
Yes, I agree.
Coming home in 11th place is unknown.
I'm just about
just gone down.
Just about to put up the results for you. And there they are. There you go, Mr. Losh. Can you read that?
Yes, I can. So we did our top 10 already. In 11th place, Andrew Pears, Dave Gogol in 12th, Ben Ferguson finishing in 13th, Keith Logan in 14th, Kyle Ridley in 15th, Andrew Robertson 16th, with Matt Hardigan in 17th, and Matt Tesserero, that's how you say it, Damo, finishing in 18th.
Over the page.
Anthony Connors, finishing in 19th. Mr. Greg Holmes from Xtreem Racing, P20. Graham Ellis, privateer tonight, P21. Trent Harrison may have finished a little earlier than expected with a top finish of 22 when Tyson Gordon 23. Which also may have, which I don't know if I saw Tyson finish that night.
No, I think Tyson may have disconnected before we even got underway. So I'm not sure whether he had technical issues.
Yeah.
All right, boys, that wraps up race 1. We might take a short break and be back for race 2 very soon. Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, the cars are lining up for the second race tonight. They should be underway shortly. We've just got Master of Ceremonies, Damo, giving everybody the lowdown on what not to do in race 2. And they should be moving off shortly.
And we'll see you again. It looks like in order we have Glenwood.
Up, there we go. It's
Yeah,
just
there we
reset.
go. Dylan, there we go, it's reset. I didn't think Glenwood got there a second time. We've got Dylan Canto, Owen Coleman, Wayne Lush.
Followed by Glenwood, Damien Seagar, Darren Linus, and Mosmer Odds.
Got Luke Clever, Glenn Boyd, Ray Oliver.
Dave Gogol, Andrew Pears.
Followed by Keith Logan, Ben Ferguson, Kyle Ridley, and Matt Hardigan.
Followed by Andrew Roberts, Anthony Connors, Matt Tesserero, and Graham Ellis.
Right at the back of the grid, we have Greg Holmes, and I believe the other two gentlemen have not joined us back.
That would be right. I'm starting at the back.
Only one way to go from there, Greg.
Yeah, backwards even further. Should be underway shortly. Pace car should peel off any time now.
Bunch up nice and tight. Graham Ellis sitting nice and wide out the back there.
Looking for the big run.
Go green.
Hopefully they can all get through turn 1 this time safely. Oh, looks like Anthony Connors has pulled out as well.
That's not like Anthony.
No. Wow, look at that.
Big drag race down into turn 1. Once again, spread out wide, 3, 4, 5 wide.
Yeah, I think it was either Ray Oliver or Kyle really got a really good run there. Win so far. Canto's grabbed the lead with Coleman following close by.
All fairly clean at the moment, which is good to see.
I'm going to say he's up front.
I'll see what I can do about that back and forth.
Oh dear. Might go back and have a look and see what happened in the background there. So that looks like Moz. Oh, he's touched Damo, the former teammates. Oh, and
His teammates, I would say.
stacks on the mill. Looks like there's
Was on the radio there, maybe apologising for that one.
Looks like there might be a few damaged cars out of that little excursion. Oh, and Loshy's called the safety car.
Yeah, the yellow flag, which is probably well worthy of one as well, I'd say. So the guys are now going to a single file, 60 kilometres an hour. Held by Dylan Canto.
A few guys will be desperately trying to get back to the pits, no doubt, and get that damage repaired.
Yeah, generally we'll let them pass the pack, get into the pits, and then join the rear again. Good look, a bunch of blokes there, I would say. Three Mercedes and London, that's the front.
I see in the background everyone's scurrying back to the pits, trying to get the repairs done as quickly as possible.
There goes the injured ones.
We do have fast repairs, so hopefully they'll get back out and onto the back of the train fairly
It's like
quickly.
Moz is struggling to hold that one straight. Crab walking a little bit there.
So most of the boys are just heading to pit exit, so they should be able to jump onto the back of the the train as it goes past the pit exit. Should be able to get up and running again very soon.
What do you think about the Aston Martin there, Losh? Do you think it had the pace?
Yeah, I do actually. We raced here on Monday night in the Mazdas, and it's a circuit that, whatever reason, I don't think I can match the pace of the front runners, whereas other circuits I seem to be able to. So, in my hands, the Aston was good enough to sort of keep with the front runners here. So, someone with a little bit more talent, or maybe that liked this circuit a little bit better, I actually think would have had a really good run in it, because it was by a mile ahead of the BMW to drive around this circuit. It was actually pretty easy to drive around this circuit. So
awesome. I'd say that the Porsche was definitely strong under brakes. Coming to turn one, it was almost like a double dab, where if you'd hit it hard and lay off and press it again just to stay away from the guy in front of you. But she really lacked around the sweeper. She's just understeered a lot, and you couldn't get it back on the apex. Where the Mercedes, if you had one of those behind you, you knew where he was going to pass her. And Glenwood actually made a really fine example of that on me a bit earlier in race one.
yeah, I think the Aston was just a real good all-rounder. I think it actually handled all facets of the circuit good. Maybe not brilliant anywhere, but not bad anywhere. So it was, I found it pretty easy to drive. I think it was a pretty good all-rounder.
Can't say too much about that BMW though, because Ray Oliver's holding a pretty solid fifth, and he did pretty good last race as well.
Yeah, as I said, I found, especially in this race, I sat behind Dave Gogol for quite a few laps, and very difficult to get past the BMW, especially in a straight line. Corners, some corners he did really well, other corners he seemed to struggle, so it's probably just reiterates what you boys are saying with the Beamer, that in the right hands it was probably okay, but yeah, I think it was overall probably not a track that suits the Beamer.
I think we should focus on Wayne Losh on this restart, Greg.
I do recall a comment over the radio, Loshy.
I reckon he's being biased.
I think it might be quite amusing to let everybody hear the.
A flattering moment.
So as we get ready for the restart on our Discord channel, a certain driver told us to all be very careful because we're going to be restarting on cold tyres.
Would that driver be good?
No. It would be Mr. Aston Martin.
Man himself.
Yes. So
well,
let's just watch and see what happens down at turn one.
Yeah, the guys really just tried to keep this one single file and no overtaking until turn one to minimise the carnage. So
except for Mr. Connors, as you can see in the background, he's already contemplating a move on me.
Yeah, we'll have to pull him up for that, Mr. Holmes. What do you think?
He knows better than to overtake. See, now look at the very cautious start that Mr. Losh does get in the Aston Martin. He's doing everything right.
And the boys actually went. Went on the wrong start-finish line. It wasn't intentional or anything. But right about now, I'm saying, "Cold dies, boys, take it easy." And I didn't get to finish making the sentence when I went, "Oops, oh dear."
And Loshy's just confirming.
Had to sit there and wait. Couldn't pull out in front of everyone. So from third or fourth to last in a quick flash.
Just confirming that yes, they were cold tyres.
Well, you know what we say there, don't you?
Unlucky.
Oh, Dylan took a very unusual line there on the restart.
Yeah, it's probably not a case of cold tyres, I think. They take a good lap to settle in, but I can assure you now, once you finish the lap, they're probably about 100% better.
And that's it, isn't it? Like that's why I was telling all the boys on Discord, because you sort of forget when you're running around slow that they do cool down. You're very conscious of it in the first lap, you know, you're thinking about it, but when you have a little safety car and you slow down, it goes out of your mind. So Yeah.
Was it out of your mind?
Maybe not.
So
Glenn holding his own again.
further back, we'll go back. There's a bit of action happening. It's Moz and Dave Gogol swapping positions. I think Moz gets the better run out of the corner, gets back in front.
Yeah, I was having a bit of a chat to Moz about the triple
Oh.
monitors in the Porsche shop, but we were spinning there. Sorry, about the triple monitors in the Porsche. Is the triple monitors almost become useless because the Porsche's got that massive A-pillar in the grid on the window that you can't see out of it. So
Ah,
you might as
yes.
well just have a you might as well just have a single monitor. Was he possibly drinking this night?
We would hope so.
3 wide.
Dave's holding on the inside.
Oh,
Oh, in the background.
oh wow. We have to take a look at that.
So let's jump back and
There's 4 involved in that one.
I might
Andrew Roberts gets a pass on Connors.
just having a look to see what
In the pits.
Yeah.
And going, unfortunately.
We're not here.
that's.
That'll be Roberts' spin. Looks like he's done
Ah,
one
yes.
all by himself.
Oh, just
almost
managed to
about
clip
Sega.
Damo.
It looked like Mod and Damo ran into each other again just there as well.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what I did to the bloke. That was probably me hitting him though. I must admit. So you won't put it all on Moz.
Oh, he's not here to defend himself. So
Exactly.
Mod's fault.
I think it's the Connors in, so just focus on Connors there for a sec.
Oh, did you want?
Yeah. Oh, we really wanted to see Connor's incident. That's all right. We'll let it go.
I'll see if. Oh, hang on. We might be able to. Oh, there it is. Look at that. 4 cars involved there.
Yeah. Well, then Loshy's got a pass. Well done, Loshy.
Passed a
Another.
few cars there.
Not always the way you want to pass, though, is it?
Yeah, that's about all I managed in this race. Past the people that were unfortunate and had spins.
Meanwhile,
A
up
big
the
thank
front,
you with myself.
looks like Owen's getting a little bit impatient with young Canto. Dylan manages to hold on.
Ray Oliver and Pearsy and Boyd. So where's Glenn Wood back in 11th after starting up the front? So see if his pace that he had in the first race will get him back towards the front. He's probably about to round up and pass Damian Seeger.
Really good chance. It'd be interesting to watch Boydie on this one as well. See if he can do that as well. He's definitely pretty good at doing that. Managing that Porsche through the crowd.
Yeah, he was achieving it in the first race, and I think he was caught up in something because I think he got his way up to about 4th, but ended up finishing back. So
This is where the Porsche benefits. Is this corner here? You can really, really late brake. Just found it out. Broke most of the cars on the track.
So where were you braking in the Porsche on that corner, Damo?
I would say at about 120.
Yeah, okay.
Might jump back and just have a bit of a look and see what's happening back here with Damo. He's currently got Glenn Wood hot on his hammer. Damo currently in 10th spot.
Yeah, I think this is just where the Mercedes outshine through this corner here in particular. You'll see. I managed to get that one on the apex, but never really happened. But he's just flown up on the inside there and at the pace of Glenn Wood. He's flying up on the inside. You're probably better off letting him go. Sometimes it's just a wise choice, right?
Generally, if someone catches you really fast, it's always a good thing, and then there's certain drivers that you like to sidestep, but it looks like he's closed down a couple of second gap in just over a lap, so
it's not really worth it. I mean, I know a lot of the times if I find myself struggling with the pace and there's somebody behind me that can do it better, one of the things I do is just sort of lay off a little bit and then jump in their slipstream, pick up their little tricks, and then if I can pass them, I'll get them back. So I just try to learn for a few laps and sit in the slipstream, and it generally works. And it also saves a lot of frustration from the battle, because if you battle, you'll know you might even drop a few positions and never get to the front. It's not the smartest thing to do sometimes.
Yep, I'd agree with that. I always prefer to. I feel I'm in more control if I'm behind the car in front of me. I know I'm generally not going to hit them, whereas if they're very close behind, I don't have that same level of confidence.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit less stressful taking that approach as well. So, and
Yeah.
as especially if they're faster than you, because just watch, learn, and keep up with them, and
Yeah.
learn a couple of things that you're doing wrong, and then you can battle and try to get that position back.
I think it's what I've done with Glenn here is I've just let him this corner inside. It just wasn't worth it. Yeah, right there. Just let him
And
have
that's
it.
the area where you know you're weak in your car anyway.
Yep.
Trying to shut him out there, you're going to lose anyway.
I've been playing this here is to sort of sit behind him and stick with him and let him pull me through the crowd. But Petey had some other ideas and he wanted to battle, and I'll tell you what, Petey had some pace because I couldn't get past him. He's doing a great job.
Jump on board the nose of Moz's car. See if he can get through a lap without running into the back of his former teammate.
He's got to feel picked on. It's not a better line there. That's another corner as well. I don't know. Actually, lastly, I saw him quite a few times in my rear vision mirror. It might have been during practice, trying to get on a power out of that corner. It's just if you're a millisecond too early, she's sideways.
And once again, the joy of driving different cars and iRacing, because the BMW out of that corner was nowhere near as sensitive as the Aston. It was so easy to light the rears up in the Aston out of that corner, and then all of a sudden you'd pay for it for the near mile-long straight. Yeah, you just had to be really, really gentle with the Aston out of that corner. And I think the Mercedes would have been the same too, because that thing lights its rears up pretty easily if you're overzealous on getting your foot on the power pedal.
Tell you what, watching this though, I could tell that Moz's got the pace as well. Wasn't really trying anything on, which is good. It's definitely the light in the day.
It's a good view this when there's a few cars around. That was nice to watch the back of the car working.
Yeah.
Jump
spot coming up here. Get up on the inside of them sometimes. Every set of corners. All about the run. And then it's all about the Mercedes. It says goodbye. Yeah.
So just looking at the lap times, Glenn Boyd.
Oh, look at the power there. You got plenty of gas. Look at that.
Sorry, Greg. Yeah, but once she gets there, she gets out. You can't go any further. Like, as soon as you hit that wall of wind, that's it. You've got to, and that's, but to see both Porsches almost got through there purely because of the braking. Actually, both Porsches did get through. And I wouldn't blame that on driver error or anything. It's just purely because the Porsche brakes a lot better.
Yeah, well, you opened the door up, and then Moz thought, I'll have a piece of that.
Looks like we've had another crash further back in the pack. Going to jump back and have a look and see. It's Graham Ellis.
The G-Man, what's he got for us?
In the Porsche. Oh, the famous wall.
I think it's the same wall as I think that's the same wall as you hit in race 1. I reckon Connors put some oil on the track.
Wouldn't surprise me. Meanwhile, back up the
Meanwhile,
front.
back at the front, look at Dylan Cano and Coleman. These pair have been basically this close all night. Third place, Oliver, a couple of seconds back. Boydie's done really well to get himself up into fourth. Andrew Pear's having a nice run in fifth. Kyle Ridley in sixth. Darren again in the top 10, nicely up in seventh. Keith Logan in eighth. Glenn Wood in ninth. And Damien Seeger rounding up the top 10.
Interesting, looking at the lap times, the last couple of laps, Glenn Boyd has been considerably quicker than anyone else on track. So he's obviously found something in the Porsche in race 2.
You know, he's another one that's been loyal to the Porsche, so he knows that car inside out. And, I haven't been talking to him, but he certainly knows when it comes on, because he can talk to it. So he's probably just waiting for that moment. Well, it actually looks like he's waiting for that moment. He's certainly going to be in race 1 as well, but he's obviously in control.
Director's giving us some nice footage tonight. I was enjoying the watching the rear of the Porsche and now watching the front end of that Merc working. It's some really good footage.
Love the sound of the backfire of the Merc going up through the gears.
I think we'll see that gap start to close now because it's really in the draft.
Just looking at the lap times again, the top 5, Glenn Boyd, well and truly the quickest. Whoa. Must remember not to look up from the keyboard when you have this camera view. So, what's happening further back? Looks like might jump back and see how this little battle pack's going at the moment. Looks like Moz has dropped off the back slightly.
We've got Keithy there. He was, like I said earlier, he was doing an absolutely amazing job. And, holding us all accountable there. Got some really good lines and had a bit of a pace on the Mercedes.
So Glenn rounded up Darren Linus then, and I think Darren went a little bit wide and Damien followed straight through.
Equalisation, mate, that's what we call that.
It'll be interesting to see if Damien can get far enough ahead of that McLaren for the run down the straight.
Darren's run a bit wide there.
I reckon if Daz had a better paint job.
The flowers were much better than the boring.
Boring black, yeah, he's got to change it up next week. Or wait next week.
It looks like the two Mercs have held each other up coming through that final turn, which has given Damo a bit of a run.
Yeah, but
Glenn's moved.
Yeah.
Glenn's moved over to cover. 3 wide.
Experience right there. Yep. And I would have my money on the Porsche here with the brakes, but I just think the Porsche got the wrong line and just couldn't make it work.
Yeah, too tight.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
you see the Greg Moz is really laid out of it there. He could have probably done it a bit better himself.
yeah, he's made up a lot of ground in the last lap, Moz. Looks like further back we've had another crash, so we might go back and have a look. And this time I think it's Luke Claver that's found himself in a spot of bother. All got on the gas early. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
The mysterious iRacing ghost is hit.
We'll jump back and have a look and see how that battle's unfolding.
Back in time. I just think Keith is going to hold his line here and just hang me wide, which he does perfectly.
Gives Moz a bit of a run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jump on board with Moz.
It's a bit smelly, isn't it?
Oh, Damo's gone for the pass inside.
Yeah, but that was a pass on a Mercedes when they were about to come up to the straight, so... Sure
Regretting it already?
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the line he gets. Look at that. It's just...
Slipstream City. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Once it starts to stretch its legs, the Merc is very difficult. Meanwhile, Moz has decided you're way too slow, Damo.
Yeah.
He's going to outbrake every... Oh,
he's done a not a Moz.
I was going to say, that was very courteous of Moz. I'm not sure what happened there.
He could have taken us all out.
I think someone's abducted Moz. That was not him.
Either that or there was a thread over Discord potentially. That
It probably was.
Don't do it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he really hit the brakes hard then, didn't he?
He did. He
Yeah.
certainly gave you all plenty of room, which is very un-Moz-like.
So we've got about 9 minutes to go in the race, and up the front we've still got Dylan Canto and Owen Coleman battling out like they were in the last race.
I think looking at that, Loshy, the two of them are sort of slowing each other down and bringing Ray Oliver and Glenn Boyd into the equation.
It's a double-edged
Something
sword.
they probably don't want.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you want to be in front, but you don't want to risk it. You don't want to slow it down either. So it looks like these guys are taking the other option, slowing down and battling, which in turn is bringing the other two closer. I can tell you from experience, though, Loshy and Regan, I'm pretty sure you'll back me up here. The guy you don't want close to you on the last 3 laps would be Glenn Boyd.
Yes, definitely. Yes, if there's a way to win it, Glenn will find it.
Just sit there happily. It's like he won't do much, and then all of a sudden he'll just pull a move and.
I refuse to comment on the grounds that he's probably going to hear it. He knows that he's bested me on more than one occasion.
Listen, Loshy, if we run with reverse psychology on this one, mate, just run with me here. I've got a plan.
Okay.
The one thing you'll never do is put Glenn Boyd off his game, not his racing game.
No. Smart cookie with his racing moves, and he just likes to sit back, watch you for 2 or 3 laps, work out where you're weakest, and then just time it really, really well with not much time left in the race for you to have a go back at him. So, yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, as I said, he's been consistently faster than the guys in front. Looking at his lap times, he's always been a few tenths quicker. So,
He's holding the fastest lap as well at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's potentially just playing the waiting game.
Sniffing, we'll call it. He's just sniffing. He's around there. He's like a puppy dog around the bowl.
His sniper just picking them off one by one.
Yeah. He's getting a move here by the Beamer. Who's that? Ray Oliver.
Ray Oliver, yeah.
Another guy to watch out for. He's got a little bit of racecraft as well, hasn't he? It's not a bad break. That was a fantastic move, but I think he's overdone himself a little bit.
Well, he nearly got 2 for the price of 1. I don't think he'll hold the position and go, oh, he might. Got the inside one now, so that was pretty impressive.
It was, but, you know, it takes cooperation. Let's not forget that, to be able to do that. So you'll see that Owen sort of saw it coming, so he's opening up a little bit for him, which is the right thing to do.
Jump on the nose of Owen's car. Get a good look at the Beamer.
All Port's gaming. Not a bad paint job, is it?
No.
We commented on that last week. very, very nice paint job. A lot of time
Yeah.
and effort into that.
I think we just saw the difference there through that sharp right-hand turn, guys, where I think Owen was hard on the brakes to avoid running into the back of Ray.
See how smooth Ray gets this out of this corner. See if he's sort of doing drift action or not.
And there's Mr. Boyd.
Still hanging around, and there it is, move number 1.
Dylan's dropped back there about 3 or 4 seconds, so
Yeah, he's
must
obviously
have just made a little mistake.
he's had a slowdown or an off track somewhere that lap.
What lap did I can't quite see it. What lap did I see?
So we're on lap 14. So there's about 4 laps, 3.5 laps to go.
So mathematically speaking, this will be a little bit shorter because of the safety car. So I think this one will only go another couple of laps. But in the championship, because of my stellar cold tyre effort, obviously this now becomes my drop round. So mathematically, Owen needs a first or a second here to take the championship. So he's
in a good spot at the moment.
So. This one's going to go right down to the end of the race.
Yeah, I wonder if we knew this one. That's some really good statistics there. I see Mr. Holmes has made himself up into position number 10.
Starting right at the back of the grid. That's a nice drive.
And I think this is where Mr. Boyd might get this move done with that beautiful Porsche under braking. He should be able to get that done quite easily, I think.
Oh.
Somebody else wants to go.
Looks like Ray's also keen to grab second.
Switch over to position number 11 there, correct? Okay, you go to the box. Does look like a good car, doesn't it? I see. For a moment there, it looked like he was closing down on Holmes.
The gap seesawed for the last few laps. Dave was very quick, especially down the straight and through certain corners. I probably pushed a little bit too hard in the closing laps. I was trying desperately to get on, close the gap down to the guys in front. Made a few errors. I'll jump back up the front because we're at the 28.5 minute mark. So
now, the more I look at Dave's car, Dave, maybe he's got one of his daughters to draw on.
We'll have to ask him.
Well, the other day he was explaining to Losh and I that he called one of his daughters the wrong name. It was his other daughter, and he got into a trouble. So maybe that was the payback. So got the crayon and drool over his car.
So it looks like Glenn's decided to clear out. He's opened a half a second gap. Meantime, Ray still wants second and manages to get it done.
In battle, and he's just stretched it out a little bit. Timed this race to perfection, Glenn Boyd has.
Yeah, well,
I wonder where Jack gets it from.
Especially if the second and third start battling it out, that's just going to open the door even wider for Glenn. He's not the sort of person that usually makes mistakes at this point in a race. So,
just thinking, I mean, if you can handle that BMW, which we know Ray can, it might be a wiser choice can, to get in behind Coleman and sort of wait for a little bit, because if you get a really good line out of that last corner, that BMW can do some damage. Yeah.
I think this is the last lap, but isn't it?
Oh, it is that?
It's
It
possibly,
would be.
yes.
You're right, yeah.
Yes.
I can't see no white flag, but yeah.
It hasn't quite ticked over the 30-minute mark yet, but I don't. Yes, they won't make it to the finish line, so this will be the last lap. Yep.
It looks like Owen's thrown it up the inside into the last corner.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was aware of the finishing requirements and things he needed to get the win here, so he's got second. But look at the race to the line.
The beam has pipped him, hasn't
Wow. Yes.
it?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. So I dare say that's just due to the last corner run.
And there's what, a couple of hundredths in that, I think. So there was actually 6,000ths of a second.
6,000ths of a second. Yep.
So Wayne, you're saying that literally determined the championship right there?
I believe it has. The final points haven't been done, but I'm normally reasonably good with my numbers.
Yeah, okay. We won't take it as
And,
gospel. Copy.
Yeah. So we'll have the points up hopefully sometime tomorrow. But I believe that is a 1-point win for the championship by myself, and 6,000ths of a second cost Owen. So great racing, Owen.
So the results for the feature: Glenn Boyd takes the win over Ray Oliver. It's the smallest of margins back to Owen Coleman. Dylan Canto in fourth, Kyle Ridley fifth, Andrew Pears in sixth, followed by Glenn Wood, Darren Linus, Matt Tesserero, Greg Holmes, Dave Gogol, Moz Moroz, Keith Logan, Ben Ferguson, Wayne Losh, Luke Claver, Damien Seeger, Graham Ellis, and if we flick over the page, that's it.
That is it.
That's it.
And I just need to bring forward, that's actually listing it as 1,000ths of a second between Ray Oliver and Owen Coleman as well. So
yes,
that's amazing.
Crazy.
That is insane. And that wraps it up for the final round of season 2 of the Xtreem GTs. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with season 3. In the meantime, we'll probably work out some tracks and put up some practice sessions, and the boys will get out there and no doubt swap and change cars like they normally do, and get set for what should be a really good season 3.
Yeah, I really think these GT4s can kick up. It was a really good crowd tonight, so if we can keep that up for season 3, we might be onto a winner here.
And just want to say a special thank you to both Damo and Loshy for jumping in tonight and giving a hand with the broadcast. Look forward to catching up with you guys again season 3.
If I'm up with Channel 7 by then. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say I'm hoping everyone enjoys it, because I think we enjoy having a go at it, and I'm sure we'll only get better and people will enjoy the broadcasts more and more. So I'm looking forward to next season for 2 things, racing and broadcasting. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Totally agree with that, guys. Take care.
Catch you soon. Bye.